I'm Vicki Hogarth, and welcome to a special holiday edition of Southwest Magazine. On today's episode, Canadian country singer and Charlotte County's own Shawn Richard will be debuting his first ever Christmas single, Grandma's Christmas Tree. Let's take a listen right now to Shawn in studio.
The days grow shorter, the nights are so long. The leaves fall and the snow flies, and I know where I belong. It's the season of love and joy, but it won't begin for me till I see it lit and see her beam, Grandma's Christmas tree. I can see the light in her eyes, more joy than the year before. Memories are made as we place each branch with this decor. It's a special thing we love to do and always will be. To decorate and celebrate Grandma's Christmas tree. It's my favorite day of the year when I'm there to celebrate. Her favorite one of them all, the angel who holds her faith. Each decoration means so much, they all come from near and far. She holds each one so deeply there inside her heart. I can see the light in her eyes, more joy than the year before. Memories are made as we place each branch with this decor. It's a special thing we love to do and always will be. Decorate and celebrate Grandma's Christmas tree. I can see the light in her eyes, more joy than the year before. Memories are made as we place each branch with this decor. It's a special thing we love to do and always will be. Decorate and celebrate Grandma's Christmas tree. I'll always decorate and celebrate Grandma's Christmas tree.
That was beautiful, Shawn. That was Shawn Richard debuting his first ever Christmas single, Grandma's Christmas Tree, on CHCO. Shawn's going to join me on the couch right now. Thank you, Shawn, so much for being here today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for also choosing CHCO to make your debut of your first ever Christmas single.
Yeah, I mean, it's home and it's local. Everything about this song is local, so I thought, thank you guys for having me, of course, but I thought this would be the best place to premiere it and show everyone what we just created.
Now, I know from knowing you in real life that you love Christmas.
Favorite time.
Why is it taking so long for you to do a Christmas single?
I've wanted to for years. I honestly have. I mean, even before I thought about recording an actual album or releasing any type of music, I just wanted to jump straight for a Christmas album or a Christmas single, but obviously you need to kind of have a little bit of base there before you do that. But yeah, I mean, I've never really written a Christmas song before. And then I wrote this song last year and really close to Christmas, so not as much time to release it. But this year I was just like, you know what, this is going to be the first single that I'm going to release off this Christmas album, and just going to do it. Go for it.
Now we're going to play a little video clip right now of your grandma, Sadie, hearing this song for the first time.
Yeah.
Who this song is written about.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about how she inspired such a special Christmas holiday in the Richard family?
I mean, she lives in a house that she raised 10 kids in, and it's not very wide. It's quite tall, but I mean, we all just crowded in this house every year for Christmas until the family started growing, and then obviously we had to move to like a hall on Christmas Day. But you know, we're kind of full circle going back there again because she can't really get out and around as much. So every year, I don't even know how many years it's been now, better part of 10, I think, I've gone over and started decorating her Christmas tree. It started out when they couldn't go out and get a real tree anymore, I think. So my grandfather and her got an artificial tree, and I started decorating it for them, and I just carried on the tradition. And yeah, I mean, Christmas Day has always been about them. So I decided, you know, this needs to be remembered somehow.
Now, obviously, from the reaction we've shown of her, this song brought her to tears. But can you tell us a little more about her reaction to finding out you based this song on her and her traditions?
Yeah. So, well, I told you I wrote the song last year, very close to Christmas. So there's actually a video on my Instagram, I think, or my social medias or something, of me singing the song to her on my guitar in front of her Christmas tree. And it's a very touching video, of course, but then when I played the actual song recording to her after it was all mixed and mastered, I guess, I mean, just hearing it all come together was quite emotional for her. And she was so grateful, and she just kept on thanking me, and I'm like, no, thank you. And it was just, yeah, I mean, you can't watch that video and not have a dry eye. It's pretty sentimental.
Now, you've definitely made a name for yourself across the country as a country artist, but your family's super well known in New Brunswick, the Richards, as this musical family. In what ways was your grandmother the matriarch of all that? Did she inspire you all musically?
Yeah, I mean, well, like both of my grandparents were musical. My grandfather's no longer with us, of course, but both of them sang and played, and not as much when I was growing up. They would sing along with the family and stuff, but they created this for all of my aunts and uncles, which then passed down to our generation, and they've always been the biggest supporters of every single one of us for anything music, and they've always, you know, made a point of being at every show, or you know, they couldn't wait to just see the success or just hear us. And so they've definitely kind of led us in the direction to, you know, music keeps our family together. It's what keeps us whole. It's brought us, you know, joy and grief and all of the emotions. But yeah, we definitely have both of them to thank for this. And I felt like this was a proper way to really, truly thank her for all of that.
Can you tell me a little bit about what Christmas Day is like in the Richard home?
Yeah. So like I was saying, for years when we were growing up, before the family kept on expanding, we gathered at my grandparents' house, and it's this house in Blacks Harbor, and we just would crowd around on the couches and the dining room table on the floor, and everybody would just play and sing. It was kind of like a drop-in throughout the day. There was food, and it was just so magical and heartwarming, because that's just what we did. And there wasn't any, like, it wasn't a rehearsed thing, like it wasn't, you know, it's different than a show. You're just there singing. And then of course the family started growing, so we started renting halls, and that's where we would go, and we did that for quite a few years. But yeah, I think this year we're gonna go back to our old roots and do a drop-in so we can see her. And on Christmas Day, I mean, there's so many of us, so.
Now, do you expect that this year, among the other songs you will be singing, Christmas songs, that you will sing this song, maybe even as a group with the whole family?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, of course, my aunt, Deb Lapointe, Deb Richard Lapointe, I should say, is background vocal on this track. And so last year, her and my other aunt, a couple of my other aunts actually, learned the song with me, and we sang it at Grammy's house when we were decorating her tree. So, I mean, I have no doubt that if we're all there at the same time, we'll all sing it to her, and along with many other Christmas songs.
Now, I know you're working on an album in Nashville. I'm going to talk about that a bit later, but this song, Grandma's Christmas Tree, was recorded here in New Brunswick. Can you tell us a little bit about where you recorded it?
Yeah, I recorded it with Pumpkin Patch recording studio in Mimram-Cook with the Bourgeois brothers, Danny and Mike. They also recorded Right Side of Wrong, which was my second studio single, I think. Yeah, my second studio single. And they're the best. They're very, very talented guys. There were a few other musicians there as well. Session musicians that came in, and we spent the day there dropping vocals, and it was just so much fun. I mean, they are like top shelf musicians. I love recording with them because they allow me to, you know, have so much of my input in the song, but at the same time, I don't even need to, because like this, they know what my vibe is, and I had sent them a rough copy of the song before I went up, and they had already concocted this version in their head, and so when I walked into the studio, it was, you know, it was just there. So yeah, I mean, Pumpkin Patch, it's all local. They're just on the outside of Moncton, and yeah.
I have to say it's pretty amazing because the song is beautiful. It has instant classic vibes. And so many musicians dream of writing a Christmas song because every year it can become popular again, and you really can make something that becomes part of other people's traditions. Did you know when you wrote it, did you instantly feel like you had something there?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that it's something that everybody can come back to every year and enjoy and bring life to every Christmas. Yeah, I mean, I wrote this song in like 15 minutes. It was, so last year when I went, the day that I was going to decorate my grandmother's Christmas tree, I think maybe an hour before I went over, I was like, I think the last interview we had, I think I told you, when I'm songwriting, it's very hard for me to just like sit down and be forced to write something. Like it has to come to me. So it just came to me. I was like, I need to write a song called Grandma's Christmas Tree, and I need to show her. So I wrote it in like 15 minutes and sang it to her that day. And it just, when you have that feeling and it's there, it just kind of comes together. Mm. So, I mean, with a few different changes, obviously, a few lyric changes and things like that. Yeah, I truly have to say I did feel that it was something special, but it wasn't until I started putting it really to work this year and it started coming together that I was like, you know, I think this is going to be good. Like, I think this is going to be a success, I hope.
How does the process work for you? I'm always curious, and music's not a genre I work in, but I love to find out the process of a writer. Is it usually the lyric or melody that comes first to you? How does the song develop in your head?
I think it changes. It varies for every artist. For me, I always start out with a title. It might not be that way for the next musician, but that's the way it is for me. I always write around my title, and I learned a lot when I was writing in Nashville last summer. You know, you can start from the top. You can move things around, and a song's never really finished until, like, you can work on it for quite a while until it's recorded. But it's like you're having a conversation with someone. It has to make sense. And so I start from the title and I just go straight down. And I mean, I play guitar, but I'm not a fantastic musician. So I just put my own spin on it. And then of course, when we go into a studio, I just give them all full reins and let them have at it. But so I would say the lyrics come first, and then the melody for me. But yeah, I always start with the title.
Mm-hmm. The first time that I interviewed you was at Campobello Fog Fest. It was really the start of the pandemic, and I think that was the only music festival I went to that year because they were all canceled. And there we were able to socially distance. People were sitting in the back of their trucks. They were on their boats watching. It was the weirdest experience, but also
strange.
So moving. And then it introduced me to your music, and I instantly fell in love with your gift. Then I think we did a socially distant televised New Year's Day special in St. Stephen. That's the next time we talked. And then I had you here. What was that period like, though, as an artist, and did that lead to developing this song? I know that it's, for some artists, there were many ups and downs, but it also gave some a little bit of a creative period in a different way because there was so much time alone.
Yeah. Actually, so I had just released my second single, Right Side of Wrong, and I had set a huge release party for it. I was very excited about that song, and then the pandemic hit. So it was very strange performing any shows that year because I hadn't really had the success at the beginning that I wanted with Right Side of Wrong. I'm very happy with where it's at now, but it was strange. Yeah, I mean, everything about performing that year was very strange, but I think a lot of artists there was the whole like Facebook Live shows and performing concerts from your home and stuff like that. But I think it really, I mean, I took a lot of time to really focus on writing in that time period. But more so, it made me, not want to take for granted what performing is. Mm-hmm. And having all that taken away from you is awful. And so, yeah, it was a time to reflect and really, see what we actually had taken for granted before.
You took naturally to the Facebook Lives. And I remember talking to you and other musicians at the Campobello Fog Fest and hearing that's for some people, that was the only festival they had going that year. But you also had this other amazing opportunity come about in the pandemic. So while a lot of other artists were struggling, you had an opportunity to go to Nashville to start work on an album in Nashville. So where is that process at now? I know it's still ongoing.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy that happened during the pandemic. So after I had released my third single, I think, I Don't Want to Go There, I had gotten reached out to by an independent record label in Nashville called SSM, and I did sign on with them for a development deal. And I've been down a few times since I signed to do work for that. It's not a process that happens overnight for sure. So we're still working on that. I was just down there a few months ago. Actually, my aunt was with me that recorded on this single with me as well. Yeah, so it's a work in progress. It takes time. It takes money, and you have to go down there. And I live in Canada, and then of course the pandemic and traveling and restrictions and stuff like that. So it's been a weird, happy feeling, but also weird to navigate. But yeah, we're still planning. I've got 4 really cool songs that I'm excited for everyone to hear. I've started playing a couple of them out when I do my live shows, just to kind of give people feelers. One I'm really excited about is called Any Place Like Home, and I'm excited for everyone to hear that because it's about all of the places around here, and I name drop a few places, and I think it's gonna be really cool.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
You must be happy to see life for musicians go back to normal. Have you been enjoying getting back to doing live shows and seeing an audience again?
Yeah, it's been really nice. I got used to doing the Facebook live shows. I loved it. You could sit at home, and whether people liked it or not, you couldn't really tell because there was no one able to applause. But it does feel good to get back out and do live shows again. And then there's people who get up and dance. And I played at Yip Cider last month, I think it was, and there was so many people there, and they were just up dancing, and it was so much fun. And I was just like, I want to do this more often. Like, it's so much fun to see people actually enjoying themselves and being able to do this again. Yeah, I mean, I don't get out as much as I would like to. It's hard in a small place like this, but yeah, I mean, nothing can take the place of a live show.
Now, I can attest to how much you love Christmas, not just from the song, but also from sitting on a Christmas committee, a Charlotte County Christmas committee with you. So I know that there might be a Shawn Richard. If you're watching this before, I'm going to say December 10th, you might be playing in St. Andrews sometime soon at the Sparkle event. But are there other concerts that you're playing this winter? Or where should people look to find out your schedule?
I have shows lined up, and you can look on my website, shawnrichard.com. I have some shows lined up in Quispam and St. John area. I have a lot planned for the summer next year. So obviously stay tuned on my website to get updates on that. But yeah. I think I'm playing at Barrel's Head next month a few times, and yeah, Sparkle by the Sea, I think we have.
Now, if people are interested in buying Grandma's Christmas tree, obviously there's so many different ways to buy music now. What are the ways people can find the song and purchase it so they can get their Christmas albums updated, especially for stores and restaurants in Charlotte County if they want to play something that is our version of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas? I love that our county now has our own Christmas song, so thank you from the bottom of my heart for that.
I hope it turns into that. I really do.
But where could people find it if they want to add it to their Christmas playlist?
Anywhere you stream your music, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon Music, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Make a TikTok of it.
Okay.
Make that go viral. Anyways, yeah. Yep, it's on all streaming platforms as of today.
Now, can I ask you too, Shawn, aside from Grandma's Christmas Tree, what are a couple of your other must-listen to, all-time favorite Christmas songs that you would say, if you're going to download Grandma's Christmas Tree, what other top 2-3 songs are on your Christmas playlist?
Well, the inspiration behind the melody to Grandma's Christmas Tree is very Brad Paisley Christmas. So there's the song Brad Paisley's Born on Christmas Day. It's a song where he has a recording of him as a kid, and then it turns into him singing in the present time. And that's always just been one of my favorite Christmas songs of all time. Of course, anything Kenny and Dolly. Huge country Christmas fan. So Alan Jackson, Let It Be Christmas is one of my favorites. I think I did it in a live show, Facebook live show last year. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I hope everyone at home goes out and downloads your song, Grandma's Christmas Tree, now, and we're going to leave today's show playing it one more time. But thank you so much for sitting down with me today and for debuting your song here. I appreciate it so much.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited for everyone to hear Grandma's Christmas Tree. Download it today. It's on all streaming platforms.
Thank you so much for being here today, Shawn. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you guys as well.
And happy holidays to you at home. I'm Vicki Hogarth, and this has been Southwest Magazine. We'll leave you today with Shawn Richard singing Grandma's Christmas Tree.
The days grow shorter, the nights are so long. The leaves fall and the snow flies, and I know where I belong. It's the season of love and joy, but it won't begin for me till I see it lit and see her beam, Grandma's Christmas tree. I can see the light